1994, the world is controlled by one power. The apple is success.
There ain't no pride, there ain't no shame, there ain't no sympathy, there ain't no blame, there ain't no pleasure, there ain't
The
no
apple
pain.
brings you everything.
What about happiness?
Child of love, show me, tell me.
I wanted to release Bibi from a contract.
Yes.
Where is she?
I stand alone. I stand alone. Cry for me.
The apple is the temptation.
Face it, face it.
The apple is the experience.
Take the apple. Whoa! Praise the apple. Whoa! Yeah, 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 yeah.
The apple is the forbidden fruit.
Come and take me and shape me and mold me and make me and fill me up with your fire. Come do anything to me your little heart desires. Ooh, I've never been so high in my life.
Bibi, I must see. I gotta talk to you.
The apple takes your soul.
From New York out to LA, everybody does it her way. Pumping power by the hour. Speed, I can feel the earth start quaking when America starts shaking. Pumping power by the hour. Speed.
Now, a special experience in movie-going entertainment. The apple.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Hopeful to the Whelp on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, receiving manager at my local bookstore, father of 5, bipolar survivor,
yes,
and altogether nice-ish guy. Few notes before we start this episode. Number 1, I'm going to try and not make too many gross noises, but I have a really nasty sinus infection. And so there just might be a bit more sniffling and horking in this episode.
Yes, but if we have any musician listeners out there, you know, people who are really good with loops, Liz, I don't know if Liz listens though.
Yeah,
it would be great if they sample the sniffling throughout the show.
Oh, that would be nice. That
And
would be nice.
make a song out of it.
Yeah. I'm also going to I am making a conscious effort to try and not make this a long episode, to try and end this early, because tonight is the the mid-season premiere of freaking Supernatural.
Okay.
So it's big. It's a big thing for the other members of the family. So I'm going to try and get this done so I can
Be there.
kind of guard the baby so that Natasha doesn't have to worry too much about that.
Oh, you're the goalie. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're the baby goalie. Yeah. No. Definitely baby wrangler.
Yeah, I got to guard her and stuff so that mommy has undisturbed supernatural time. So this is episode 100.
Have you just considered a leash? You know, a long leash, but just nail the leash to a wall and.
I always said to Natasha that we need to get those baby leashes for the kids when we had kids. They were young and they were running around. She said, "Those are cruel. We can't get those baby leashes." And I said, "Yeah, not the ones that they sell for children. That's why I want to get a choke collar."
Yeah.
And just yank them, just really yank them all over the place. We did have one for was it Maxwell? It was a little monkey backpack that he wore, and then the tail was like this big long thing that we held.
Mm-hmm.
And we used it a couple of times, but yeah, it wasn't the choke collar that I was hoping for. Yeah. Or also maybe just get for all of the family, just get them bracelets that explode like Battle Royale.
Yes.
If we're really going to take this to the next step, just make sure that all the family, stays where they need to be,
Yeah.
Bunny.
Or like that Rutger Hauer movie Wedlock or Deadlock. Only movie I know with two names like that.
Yeah. Bunny, I would like, if I may, to start off this 157th episode of the Pope on Film by talking once again, I would like to once again start the podcast by talking yet again about the lyrics to Aretha Franklin songs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a long-standing...
How many times?
It always seems when it turns to winter, your heart goes to Aretha Franklin.
Yep. Oh, how many times I've started this podcast discussing the lyrics to an Aretha Franklin song numerous times across numerous episodes. And if you don't know that, then sorry, but you're not really a fan.
Yeah.
So suck it.
Yeah.
So this always bugged me. Her classic song, Respect.
Uh-huh.
You know that song? Everybody knows that song. It's a wonderful song. Interesting aside before we get to the lyrics. Did you know that it was originally written for a man?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
By the way, just a very quick aside. When you do things like this, stories like this, I think maybe you should call them Mandela smatterings.
Mandela smatterings. That's nice. I like that.
Like news smatterings. You just got a bunch of musical things that you just have to say they're not really Mandela effects, but
yeah, because this is a Mandela smattering. It's a little something that upsets me. But anyway, Otis Redding originally wrote the song Respect in 1965, and it was fairly sexist. It's about a man who demands respect from his woman because he brings the money home. And so he demands a little respect from his woman. Then 2 years later, Aretha Franklin turned the sexist song into a female empowering song. And at first, Otis Redding was pissed about it.
Well...
Eventually,
take that shit from an uppity woman?
Yeah. Can you imagine, he writes this song and everyone goes, "Oh, that's a pretty good song." And then someone else gets the song and then rewrites it for women, and suddenly everyone goes, "This is the greatest song ever written. Thank you, Aretha Franklin."
It's like Warren Beatty getting his hands of You're So Vain.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
So, in fact, at the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival, Otis Redding sang Respect, and he opened it by saying, "This is a song that a girl stole from me." But he said it like, but he said it with that like a smile and grin that like, hey, I said something that was kind of dickish, but I'm Otis Redding, so you still have to love me.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone named Aretha Franklin's "Respect" as one of the top 5 songs of all time. So it's a song that everybody knows, and it's a song that everybody loves. But
well, that's kind of the problem. Is that blacks get shit, Mexicans get shit, Chinese get shit. Everybody gets some shit, but women get shit from everybody.
yeah.
You know.
But here's the thing. There's a part of the song that I never understood, which is strange because it's the most well-known part of the song.
Okay.
So, Bunny, help me out here, okay? Help me out here, okay?
Uh-huh.
The song goes RESPECT.
Uh-huh.
Find out what it means. Find out what it means to me.
Yeah.
RESPECT, and what's next?
Sock it to me, sock it to me.
No, she says something, and then it's sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me.
Oh, it's that garbled stuff that you don't understand.
Yeah, garbled stuff.
Yeah.
See, I always thought she was saying take out ECT, and that doesn't make sense because when you take out ECT, you're left with the word RESP.
Okay.
And what is RESP? What is she trying to say? You want respect, but you don't want full respect, so you just want RESP. That doesn't make sense. What is RESP? So I binged the lyrics.
Yeah.
I binged the lyrics to Aretha Franklin's Respect, right? Like you do.
Okay.
And that part, it wasn't even in the lyrics.
Okay.
What the hell? Like, what the hell, Bing? So I did some digging, and by digging, I mean I just finally used Google. And so I eventually found that missing lyric. So the song goes, RESPECT, find out what it means to me. RESPECT, take care, TCB. But then, what does that mean? Taking TCB, taking care of business. But then, why would she say take care, taking care of business? That makes no sense. That's repetitive. That's just bad songwriting, PT.
Yeah.
So what is TCB? Is it taking care of business? Is it Tokyo Crime Boss?
Well, it would have to be some kind of a person for it to take care.
Take care. Yeah, but so then wouldn't it be like Aretha Franklin? Wouldn't it be take care from AF or something? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe she's talking about the name of a yogurt franchise.
Possibly.
CBY, TCB yogurt. Are those even around anymore?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is that even still a thing? Are there yogurt places? Honey, do you know if there are any yogurt places anymore?
There is.
Yeah?
Yes, frozen yogurt. Mm-hmm.
It's not all gelato now?
No, there's a frozen yogurt place over by the Dollar Tree.
You know, if you're vegan and you eat gelato, the vegan police will come after you.
Yeah, like in Scott Pilgrim.
And like I don't know if I should show Jeannie this movie or not, because she's only good for a movie once or twice, unless it's really something good like Guardians of the Galaxy. Because Scott Pilgrim just fucking grows on you.
Yeah, it does. It's a great movie. I really wish that Scott Pilgrim had been a success. Rolling Stone did a review of it where it said that it was a game changer. And I can't imagine... I like to fantasize about a world where Scott Pilgrim was a huge money-making success.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry. I hate when people like Rolling Stone misuse phrases.
Yeah.
It's not a game changer because the game hasn't changed.
But it could have been a game changer if it was a success.
If it was a success, yeah.
Yeah, if this film...
Like somebody had once called Ray Harryhausen a game changer, and I'm like, no, he's not, because the only one who did Ray Harryhausen was Ray fucking Harryhausen. you know.
And another thing, are there still Hardys?
I think all Hardys are Carl's Juniors.
Okay. Because in Phoenix we had Carl's Juniors, but then in Tucson they had Hardys, and that was one of the many ways you could tell if someone was from Tucson. They would go, "Oh, where's the nearest Hardys?" "Oh, it's in Tucson, you son of a bitch." Get the hell out of here with your Hardys crap. Oh, I figured out what TCB stands for.
What?
Figured it out. Tickle Carmen's balls.
Tickle Carmen's balls.
Carmen, the 80s Christian musician and idol buster, he likes his balls tickled.
I would imagine.
So this
but just for our listeners, so that they realize, if sometime in February the Rev starts talking about Roberta Flack,
oh yeah,
then that means 6 more weeks of winter.
Pretty much.
If he's still on Aretha Franklin, spring is soon.
Yeah. So for new listeners,
in about 6 weeks.
For new listeners of the Pope on Film podcast, this opening bit that we just completed is a good roadmap for our show. Start off with discussing some song lyrics, sprinkle in a dash of history, and then you end the bit so far off of the original mark that you set that by the end of this segment, we're now discussing a Christian musician's balls.
Yes.
The Pope on Film, America's 1,406th favorite podcast.
I wonder if there is a video out there somewhere with Carmen saying, Carmen naked from the waist down, like to thank Jesus for my balls.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you. My balls have just the right amount of hair. That is the power of Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. And that's a cut on Aretha Franklin. So, Bunny.
Yes.
A few days ago, I was at work. Okay. So I'm at work. I'm in receiving, listening to my strange ass music and opening boxes. The boxes are product. We get a ton of boxes full of product, full of books and toys and badly warped Funko Pops.
Yeah.
The other day I got a box in with 12 Funko Pops, and I'm so excited because it's the one Funko Pop that just everybody wants, and we got 12. We got 12 of them. Okay. 12 of them. Thank God we finally got Funko Pops for Wee Teeth Kyubi. Right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Buddy, don't
bar
you
the fucking door.
don't act like you don't know Wee Teeth Kyubi, okay? That's Warwick Davis's character from Rogue One, which took America by storm.
Really?
Everyone's still with Rogue One fever, wearing their Rogue One shirts, quoting Rogue One. So thank God we got 12 Wee Teeth Kyubi Funko Pops, right? Because that's obviously, people have been coming in for just months and months. Have you gotten in your Wee Teeth Kyubis yet? And we're just zapping them with a cattle prod. Get down, back. We haven't gotten Wee Teeth Kyubis yet. Thank God we finally got 12 Wee Teeth Kyubis. Maxwell, stop climbing on me. I am not a Jimboree. And so occasionally, and not occasionally, I mean like once every blue moon, rarely, but sometimes this does happen. This box of product was packed, and it was packed by someone in a distribution center way out there in Jersey or somewhere.
Yeah.
And every once in a blue moon, whoever packed the box might accidentally leave something in said box.
Okay.
It has happened. I found a pencil in there once. I found a small piece of paper with some notes scribbled on it that someone accidentally left in the box. Recently, one of the stores out there in the ether found one of the packers, one of the distribution center employees' actual car keys in a box.
Oh, God.
So someone at the distribution center definitely had a bad day. Jesus. Can you imagine that? Where did my keys go? And then, like, 7 days later in, I don't know, Denver. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I've got keys. So the other day, I found something in a box.
Okay.
It was a used candy wrapper. Okay?
Right. A used candy wrapper and not simply a candy wrapper.
No, it was a candy wrapper that someone had opened the candy wrapper and gotten the candy out, and then the candy wrapper, the used candy wrapper, ended up in this box, and it traveled from New Jersey all the way. Maxwell, no, not stand on that. Traveled all the way to my store in Nowhere, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Specifically, it was a light blue Tootsie Roll wrapper for their new limited edition vanilla flavored Tootsie Rolls. And I looked at it and I said, ooh, vanilla Tootsie Rolls? And also limited edition. That upsets me that there's like limited edition food, limited edition toothpaste. Oh, get your limited edition shaving kit. Like the word limited edition is used too much right now and it's ridiculous. But yeah, limited edition freaking Tootsie Roll. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I used to have the same feeling toward the word official.
Yeah.
Like,
but that,
this is a fucking official toothpaste? What the fuck?
But then, buddy, later that day, I get in my UPS shipment.
Yeah.
So I open the back door, the receiving door, and I'm waiting for the no. I'm waiting for the truck to back up to my receiving door, and a bit of trash blows past. It's very windy in Oklahoma, so and there's a lot of dumpsters in the back, so sometimes some trash blows past, and a bit of trash blows past as I'm waiting for the UPS truck to back up. Specifically, it was a shopping bag, a small bit of cardboard, and I swear to you, it was another vanilla light blue Tootsie Roll wrapper. Huh? Huh?
So what do you think this is telling you?
Oh, no, I'm not done. Later
Okay.
that, I swear to you, a number of hours later, because that happened at around 10:15, 10:20, a number of hours later, around 4 o'clock, my FedEx delivery arrives, about 12 boxes of magazines, and what do I see inside of the delivery truck?
What?
I see a light blue, limited edition, vanilla Tootsie Roll wrapper.
Holy shit!
Now, going forward with this story, there are obviously two ways that I can go.
Where
with
the
this.
fuck is James Randi now? Huh?
Oh, hold on. There are two ways that I can take this story. I can just chalk that up to a strange coincidence. That is odd, right? Okay, then. And then I could move on. Or I could MAGA this bitch.
Okay.
Meaning, I can take this random coincidence and in our post-fact, post-truth nation, with absolutely no proof to back up my claims, I can get this small story and blow it way out of proportions. So, Bunny.
Yeah.
Long story short, I am here to blow the lid off of the Tootsie Roll conspiracy that Obama and George Soros and Stanley Tucci don't want you to know about. Okay?
Yeah. All right.
Obama, George Soros, Stanley Tucci. Oh, yeah, I mentioned the Tooch. Character actor Stanley Tucci. He is a brainwashed, deep state, Manchurian candidate, Rain Man driving Miss Daisy secret agent. That is bankrolled by George Soros and Jeff Pilson, of course. Jeff Pilson, that's the bassist from Foreigner. They are
the
both
Pilsen Doughboy.
their vast fortunes, George Soros and Jeff Pilson, the bassist from Foreigner, using their vast fortunes to brainwash regular people, hard-working, God-fearing patriots like you and I, Bunny, and turning them into mindless soldiers for Obama's deep state. It is a coup, people! And I have it on good authority, okay? Good authority. My sources, deep within the Pentagon, tell me that Obama and his flunkies, I'm talking about George Soros, Hillary Clinton, Ruth Buzzy, the Geico Gecko. They are concocting a sinister plan to weaken the American population so that it will be easier to attack. But how? That's what you're asking. How are these cold-hearted, jackbooted liberal thugs going to weaken the general population of the United States? Don't you think it's odd, Bunny, that after all of these years, decades go by, so much time, and then all of a sudden, they just bring back Zima? Brain dampening, government-created mind juice! In fact, all of these limited edition retro concoctions are just evil, satanic, liberal, deep state whammy sauce. and I have proof. You might think that I'm just spouting some nonsense, but I have proof. We got our scientists, our Pope on Film scientists, and they went ahead and got some Pepsi Clear and gave it to a team of laboratory frogs, like you do. And guess what happened? Pepsi Clear turned the friggin' frogs gay! Let me tell you something. All of you loyal Pope on Filmites, you loyal poffies out there, if you love America, then you need to make it your patriotic duty to stay away from all of these limited edition candies and drinks and whatevers. Oh yeah, Nick Rib is back for a limited time. Nick Rib is back for a limited time because Hillary Clinton eats babies and has sex with the surviving members of the band Menudo. That is a fact, people. A fact. So if you see someone, even someone you love, a family member, even your wife, or God forbid, your pastor, and there is a limited edition Tootsie Roll wrapper near them, it is already too late. Headshot! Headshot! That is the only way to stop this evil, liberal conspiracy! So that's Tootsie Rolls.
That's Tootsie Rolls.
Those are Tootsie Rolls. You got to watch out for the new limited edition Tootsie Rolls. Is what I'm saying.
I totally hear what you're saying there.
Okay, good. Pretty sure everybody within a 50-mile radius can hear what I'm saying. But that's okay, because this is important stuff.
Yeah.
Next, stop rolling on the bed, okay? This is not a jungle gym. Okay? Okay. Now, Bunny.
Yes.
You may or may not know this, listeners out there, but my adorable co-host, Bunny Williams, lives under a rock. That is a rock and not the rock. Not that I would mind, huh? Hubba. There's a specific part of Moana that really upsets me. The character of Maui, which is voiced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is about to start singing his song. And he says, I believe the words you're meaning to say is thank you. And Moana says, thank you? And The Rock says, you're welcome. And so she starts like, no. See, what I meant to say was, and while she's stammering, the character of Maui does the people's eyebrow.
Oh.
And it's like a tiny little, like 5-second little thing, but it still upsets me. It upsets me.
I can understand.
Yeah.
It cheapens the people's eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know?
And as a result of Bunny's rock lifestyle, he hears, I believe you hear the big news stories, African countries are shitholes, etc. But I worry that you may miss the little stories, the tiny stories, which is why it is time once again for another installment of the Pope on Film News Smatterings.
Yeah.
These are tiny stories, little itty bitty stories that you may or may not have heard, that you may have missed, that I want to make sure that you hear. Yeah. So, Bunny.
Yes.
So, did you hear about Moby? Moby's
I heard
in the
something about Moby. I don't know what. Fighting with somebody.
Oh, no. It's weirder than that. It is weirder than that.
Okay.
Apparently, allegedly, Moby is now a secret government agent.
Just like Chuck Barris.
Yeah, kind of. So, Moby is being interviewed at a Louisiana radio station, WFPK Radio in Louisiana. And he alleges in this interview that CIA agents requested his help in the beginning of 2017 to spread word of Trump's collusion with Russia.
Okay.
So here's the quote. Apparently CIA sources told musician Moby, quote, "Look, you have more of a social media following than any of us do. Can you please post some of these things just in a way that sort of puts it out there?"
All right.
So yeah. So
he is actually hired by the state.
Yeah.
Moby.
Yeah. Moby. Quote,
I don't think you can say that enough to make it make sense.
Yeah. Quote, years of touring and spending time in DC and New York, I've managed to make a few friends in the intelligence community. And I guess this is about a year ago. We were having dinner and they were really concerned. Partially based, not to go too much into the weeds, on this Fusion GPS report on Trump, essentially being run as a Russian agent. And these are some active and former CIA agents who are really concerned. They were like, this is the Manchurian candidate. Putin has a Russian agent as the president of the United States. Yeah. So what do you do when you're a CIA agent and you have uncovered proof of Trump's collusion in Russia? Exactly. You contact musician Moby. That is the obvious next step.
Yes.
Obvious. Oh no, someone's poisoning the water supply. Somebody get me the band Maroon 5. Oh no, someone's going to bomb the Empire State Building. I need the guys who sang Mbop. Stat! Oh no, Donald Trump is a Russian agent. Get me Moby! Get me the man who sang We Are All Made of Stars! It makes sense. It checks out. Checks out, Bunny.
It does.
It checks out. It 100% checks out. So, Bonnie, moving on. Have you heard of The Storm?
The Storm.
The Storm.
No, but I'm gonna go with some Nazi racist thing. I'm gonna go white supremacist here.
It's alt-right speak and like far-right Christian ease for a bizarre conspiracy theory that there's an elite secret ring of rich, liberal, cannibalistic, satanic pedophiles and rapists. Basically, one famous who's liberal is a child abducting, rapist, satanic pedophile who eats human flesh. And so basically anytime there's some famous liberal out there, or anytime there's some Hollywood person who says something, then when the storm happens, then they're gonna be the first one to go. So there's all these like right-wing Christian conspiracy theorists out there who are just like, whenever someone famous comes along, oh, Oprah's going to run for president? Right. Oprah is going to be one of the first people to get arrested when they start when Trump starts arresting the cannibalistic, liberal, Satan, pedophile, rapist, child abducting ring.
Oh, my fucking God.
The basis for this is a series of unsubstantiated anonymous posts on message boards by a person named QAnon. It's ridiculous and stupid, but a huge amount of people actually believe this shit. Not only that, but people actually think that these random ass trolling posts on some dumb message board somewhere, people think that these posts are coming from someone either deep in the Trump White House or maybe even Trump himself.
Okay.
So people are now saying that in February, that's when Trump is finally going to make his move and start arresting all of these elite cannibalistic, pedophile, child abducting mofos. Next month, February, Trump's White House will drop the hammer and start arresting the nation's most powerful liberals. And that's why they call it the storm, because a storm of arrests are about to happen. And all of these famous liberals are going to be going to jail.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an actual thing that people believe.
I know. I know. But it's like a laugh or cry thing, you know?
Yeah. This is something that a large portion of Americans believe.
Lord.
Yeah, I've got an article. Maxwell, don't jump on the bed. How many times have I told you this is a sleep number bed and I paid a lot of money for this bed? Do you want to know how much? Because I don't want to know how much. But Mom said we had to. Yeah. Here's a quote from self-proclaimed firefighter prophet Mark Taylor. Here's a quote from him. Quote, "They're fixing to, I believe, drop the hammer on a lot of these people, and they're going to start rounding these guys up. I think a lot of this stuff, from what I'm hearing in the natural or seeing in the natural, like the military presence, stuff like that, a lot of this stuff is going to start to go down in the month of February. So we are only a couple of weeks away from when the big stuff might be happening. If they do pick the month of February to start rounding these people up, that's usually the coldest month of the year for the entire country. So that will keep a lot of people off the streets, if you know what I mean."
Okay.
Taylor went on to claim that an executive order that Trump signed last month gives him the power to seize the assets of anyone involved in human rights abuses. This, he said, will be used to target the Clintons, the Obamas, and George Soros in order to prevent them from being able to pay groups like Antifa or Black Lives Matter to protest the wave of arrests.
Okay.
So yeah, basically anyone who is famous or anyone who talks against Trump, they're a part of the storm.
They're a part of the storm. So basically, Crystal Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah. But if you think that's weird,
we've seen this movie.
Yeah. But if you think that's weird, Bunny, I've got something even weirder.
Yeah.
Universal might still be doing their Bride of Frankenstein reboot. Despite the fact that The Mummy just absolutely tanked, that they're like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that this one is going to be the one that does it. Angelina Jolie has already backed out.
Yeah.
And then the Invisible Man, Johnny Depp, has already backed out of that. And the people who were running the entire thing, Alex Kurtzman and Chris Morgan, they were in charge of the entire dark universe of Universal Studios. And even the guys who started it took off. But yeah, Universal has begun putting together a production team for The Bride of Frankenstein to prepare for filming. But other than that, we do not know any specifics. So it could mean nothing, but it could mean that they're still trying to make the movie, or they're still hoping to make the movie at some point. And it's unclear whether this is going to reboot the Dark Universe or whether it's going to have anything to do with Tom Cruise or what's his name, Jekyll and hiding it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like they're
Russell
still
Crowe.
trying to make Russell Crowe. There you go. But yeah, looks like they're still trying to make this stupid movie. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I'm thinking they had like a lot of money into it and couldn't get out any other way. That's my guess.
Yeah. That's a possibility. So here's some other news. Bunny, I am assuming you heard about Hawaii, right?
Yes, and I thought about New Jersey.
Yeah, yes.
Uh-huh.
But the short and skinny of it is hold on. Poor internet connection. No. Okay, there you go. But basically, the short and skinny of it is, well, Hawaii, everyone in Hawaii, all the Hawaiianites, I believe, the Hawaiianians, I believe that they like to be called, they were all sent a notification of an immediate nuclear attack. This is not a drill. And meanwhile, our overweight 71-year-old president was busy golfing and having executive time. More on executive time later on the show. But I kind of want to talk about Hawaii, but I kind of don't want to talk about Hawaii. Anyway, it's question time. Bunny.
Yes.
You're in Hawaii. Suddenly your phone buzzes like you have a text message or a notification. And as you reach for your phone to check it, you notice that literally every single solitary person around you is also getting a text notification.
Yeah.
And you look at the text notification, and as you're reading the imminent nuclear attack, everyone around you starts panicking. How would you react is the question. How would you react to this if you were there? How would you react?
I don't see a point in running. Where are you gonna go?
I heard a story from I believe it was from Amber. She has a few relatives in Hawaii, and she asked them, like, how did you react when it happened? And the relative said, well, I was getting food at a restaurant. It was like a buffet. And we all got the notification, and everyone started panicking and running out the door, like trampling each other, pushing each other, trying to get to safety. But I just said, yeah, there's no way that this is true. And I got my food and I sat down and I finished my meal.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I think, okay, well, I'd like to think that I would be rational about this. But there's no way to tell, I think, how you would react.
Yeah.
Unless we're actually in the situation. But I'd like to think that I would at least have the foresight to realize, wait a second, the sirens aren't going off. There are sirens.
Yeah.
There are sirens for these sort of things, and the sirens aren't going off. I would like to think that I would remain a little bit calm.
See, I didn't catch if the sirens were going off in Hawaii or not. I just heard about the message.
Yeah, I looked it up. Everyone got the message, but no sirens were going off. And I'd like to think, okay, I would like to think that I would remain a little bit calm, or at least calmer than most people, trampling each other like it's fucking Black Friday.
No, my first thought was literally the New Jersey incident that we talked about on the show.
Yeah.
Where they said the nuclear reactor was going off.
Yeah, ridiculous.
You know, that was kind of my first thought about Hawaii.
Yeah. Once again, the Pope on film ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Once again, we are ahead of the curve. So, Bunny.
Yes.
I've got an exciting new thing to be scared about.
Okay.
So there's a guy in England. He is a healthy and fit 34-year-old man.
Uh-huh.
And he had to sneeze.
Okay.
This is a true story, by the way. So you know how sometimes you try and hold your sneeze in?
Yeah.
I've done that sometimes. Like I'm taking care of the baby and the baby's sleeping on the couch and I'm like, I have to do this huge sneeze and okay, I'm going to hold my sneeze in. Well, this young British dude, he took it a step further. So with one hand, he held his mouth closed.
Oh, that's
Okay.
And then with the other hand,
I didn't hear this part.
he pinched his nose shut.
Oh, no.
Idiot.
And what happened, you ask? Well, in Whoville, they say, Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. Basically, his throat exploded.
His throat exploded.
So technically, he suffered a ruptured throat. He was in the hospital for a week, and they had to put a freaking feeding tube,
Bunny, a fucking feeding tube, because his asshole held his sneeze in.
Yeah, his neck
It's
was
not even
popping.
like-
There was like a hole. There was a hole in his
It's not
throat.
even like when I'm holding the baby, I'm like,
Yeah,
at least some pressure is released. That's the thing with the fucking sneeze. I didn't hear the part where he plugged his nose and held his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Like, he's lucky he didn't blow his fucking eardrums out.
Yeah.
You have to release that.
Yeah.
You could literally pop your eyes out of
imagine,
your head if you do that.
Yeah, like imagine sneezing, but before you sneeze, you get masking tape and you cover your mouth and your nose. Like,
What a
okay,
fucking
you're a fucking
tart.
idiot.
He deserved what he got.
So anyway, Bunny.
Yeah.
I've got an exciting new thing to be afraid of.
All right. What's that?
Holding your mouth shut when you sneeze?
Sneezing can make your throat explode.
No, sneezing can't. Apparently, idiocy does that.
Damn.
Because who's fucking stupid enough to do that?
This one British guy whose name is being withheld.
Yeah, for good.
Whose name is
Yeah.
Like, you know what? His stupidity didn't kill him. Maybe we should finish the job. We don't need people like that in the world breeding. We have enough of them.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
So that's
I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
Mean.
So that story is a bit morbid. Let's try and end the Pope on Film news smatterings on a happy, upbeat note. Hey, Bunny.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the family of tortured child hostages in California?
I heard a little about that, yes. Not very much.
Pictures? No, I haven't seen the pictures.
Oh, there's pictures. There's
There's
pictures. We
pictures?
went over it in psychology today.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple, and they had 13 kids, and they were homeschooling the kids in like something along the lines of Paris, California, but it's spelled weird. It's like Parres, some weird spelled version of Paris, California.
Yeah.
So they're homeschooling the kids. They have a bunch of kids, 13 children. They have 13 children. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, one of the kids gets out of the house and runs to the police, and she's weaving this story about how the parents chain them to their beds, and they live in their own filth, and they're not fed, and they're just starving, and they're just they're dying, and it's torture, and the police are like, "It's okay, small 7-year-old girl, you're safe
10.
with us."
10.
And
she was 10.
It's okay, small 10-year-old girl. You're safe with us. And the girl's like, I'm 13. And they're like, Jesus! And she was 17.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She was 10.
Yeah, they thought she was 10 because she was so skinny. So the police.
So malnourished.
Yeah, so
She wasn't even
malnourished. Yeah.
It's enough.
So they go to the house, and yeah, no, it's absolute torture, and these kids are literally chained to their beds.
What is that? Jack Ketchum? I forget the author's name, who did a lot of books like that based on real instances. Can't remember his name, but one of them was made into 2 movies.
Oh, let's see. What author? Oh, Dr. Seuss.
Where they had the girl chained in the basement for like Christ knows how long.
Okay, hold on. Natasha's doing baseball signals to me. What?
You said Dr. Seuss, buddy. Since Steve doesn't have a in front of him, Google the pictures. They have a fucking picture of them with all the kids wearing thing 1 through thing 13.
Oh,
shirts.
I've seen that picture. It's like a vacation picture.
Yeah, and they also have one where they got married in fucking Las Vegas, where all the girls are wearing the same thing, all the boys are wearing the same thing. All the boys have the father's fucked up haircut. He's got bangs, and it goes down like this and like this, and it's just like, what the fuck? They all look the same, and apparently neighbors thought they only had like 1 or 2 kids.
Yeah.
They only ever saw 1 or 2 kids, and since they all look the same, and they are all like chained up, and only 1 or 2 are allowed out of time, doing yard work at 3 a.m, so nobody fucking sees.
Yeah. And then the police are like, oh my God, look at all of these underage kids just being tortured. And then like half of them are like, oh, I'm 26.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm 28. Well, I'm 23, but they were all so like deeply malnourished.
Bones weren't growing and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That they were just. So anyway, Bunny.
Yes.
Can we as a collective, as a society, now use this story as our new stereotype for homeschooling? That's what I would like to do. Well, I homeschool because I do not trust the secular government indoctrinating my youngins with their liberal lies. That's basically homeschooling to me. Like, my son was in school and he signed up for a world religion class, and I thought this will be great. It'll be great for him to learn about what Christianity's like in different countries. But they're trying to teach him that there's other religions, and that's when I decided I needed to homeschool my Caleb.
My son about Muslims.
I will not have my son learn about the existence of Muslims.
Yeah.
I had to pull my boy at school.
So I just had to yank my kid out of public school and chain him to the radiator.
He tried escaping the first couple weeks, but eventually, after a few beatings, he was fine.
Yeah, a few
it is
beatings.
My religious freedom.
Yeah, but
you are trying to impinge on my religious freedom.
Man,
man.
Yeah, so this should just now be our homeschooling stereotype.
Yeah. Because the Bible says, spare the rod, you spoil the child.
That's why I am constantly beating my children while listening to Rod Stewart.
Uh-huh.
And also I have Twilight Zone on in the background, Rod Serling. I just want to cover all my rods. Just in case. I just want to make sure there's a lot of rods available.
Yeah.
You know, I Rob Zombie, but it turns out I'm dyslexic with the B's.
Yeah, they don't say spare the Rob.
So, they told me it was Rob and not Rob Zombie. I had to get rid of it. I burned it.
Good. That's all just liberal trash. You know what? That Rob Zombie's going to be going away once the storm hits.
Well, I mean, what kind of name is that? Zombie? Rob Zombie? He's a devil worshiper. You know.
I bet his real name is Rob Zombie Steen, if you know what I mean.
Why do I?
He just changed it. He just changed it.
But you see how these artist types are? You see how they are? Look at Rob Zombie. Just look at Rob Zombie. Is he trying to be black with that hair? I think he's trying to be black with that hair. See? That's how they get you.
On the subject, let me say something about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Warlocks are enemies of God.
Yeah.
So that is it. That is it for the Pope on Film news smatterings this week. Bunny, I hope that you're all caught up. Hope that you are all caught up with the news Now, we still have a lot. Oh, so much to talk about. We need to talk about the weather. We need to talk about Fire and Fury. Oh, later on in the podcast, I've penciled in a breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm going to be having a meltdown, really. I've penciled in a meltdown, so I'm going to be having that later in the show. Very excited about that. We're going to be talking about some new policies out there. We're going to be talking about elderly Jewish midgets.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories and shopping at Walmart. And, of course, clone transsexual bodies. Very excited about that.
Yes. Oh, my God. And did you watch any of the videos after your playlist?
No.
Oh, they're awesome, too.
Yeah, no. We've got a lot to talk about. But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
Okay. We should. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Do 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 18. All right.
I'll kill you if you get rid of the pup. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Foggy.
You are now in a world.
It's The Death of Richie, the special edition. The Death of Richie is a 1977 made-for-TV movie, and now, with The Death of Richie special edition, now out on Blu-ray and DVD, you can watch The Death of Richie as it was originally meant to be. Gone are all of the old and outdated scenes of a young man struggling with a drug addiction, and in its place is the scene at the end of La Bamba where actor Esai Morales calls out for his brother. It's The Death of Richie Special La Bamba edition. Gone are Robbie Benson, and in its place, 1 hour and 35 minutes of Esai Morales yelling for Richie. That's all it is, just Esai Morales yelling for Richie. Do you like seeing Mexicans yell for their dead brother? Of course you do. And now with The Death of Richie, the special edition, you can watch 1 hour and 35 minutes of Esai Morales yelling for his brother. That's right, Esai Morales. Richie! It's The Death of Richie, the special edition.
Richie! I can do it longer than them. So. Richie!
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. Well then, Bunny, let's talk about books. You see, people always say, "Hey, Steve, how do you keep your hair so shiny and healthy?" To which I say, "Son of a bitch, it's 4 degrees outside! I do not have time for your crap! It is 4 degrees outside! I am from Phoenix! I do not work well in 4-degree weather. I don't work at all in 4-degree weather. And you know what really pisses me off about the weather?
What?
You know what really pisses me off about the weather? I went to go pick up Emerald from school, And I got there a little bit early, like 5 minutes early. So I'm just sitting there and I'm watching kids come out of classrooms and watching kids like run from the auditorium to their cars. There's all these motherfuckers in shorts and short sleeves and sandals. They're freaking sandals and shit.
In their defense, you're watching them run out of the gym after practice.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, I agree.
You're not impressing someone. You're not impressing anybody. Go dab somewhere. People also say, hey, write what you know. And what I know is that there is no way that Trump actually passed his freaking physical exam.
No way.
He paid somebody off because that doctor is on TV going, he could live to be 200 years old. Great genes, excellent cognitive functions. Bitch, he is 1 pound away from being obese. That's sure convenient. Yeah, there's no way that greasy tub of gold-plated lard actually passed that frickin' physical. And what I also know is that I have been a loyal employee at my local bookstore for over 17 years. And you know what else? You know what else is 17 years old, Bunny?
What?
I find this to be amazing. I went out looking for something that was also 17 years old. So you know what else is also 17 years old? The X-Men movies.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. I went looking for things that also started in 2000. And sure enough, the frickin' first X-Men movie came out in the year 2000. And I would like to think that both the X-Men franchise and I have both aged wonderfully. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I think we've both aged very well.
The first of comic book movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Depending on your thoughts regarding Blade, then yes.
Yeah, where you want to stake your flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is you need to be careful about Disney buying.
Yeah, I'm hoping that just like the X-Men franchise, I too will soon be purchased by Disney.
Yes, I think there is a good chance that we are all bought and owned to the Disney Corporation. And as far as it goes for corporations, it's kind of fun that it's Disney.
Yeah, the way that it's going to be is that there's in the future there's going to be 3 sections. America is going to be cordoned off into 3 sections. This section of the West Coast is owned by Amazon.
Yes.
And then this swatch of the Midwest is the nation of Monsanto.
Yes.
And then the West Coast is entirely owned by the Disney Corporation, and they're constantly fighting each other.
Yes, I can fucking see that.
Yeah, that's basically the future. It'll boil down to 3 corporations that will constantly be fighting each other for supremacy.
Yeah. Well, it was only 3. It was only 3 nations in 1984, so it comes down to the same thing there.
Yeah. So anyway, Bunny, I have an aside here. In trying to find something that was also 17 years old, I discovered a story. And I wanted to mention it here in the podcast because it's been a while since I've done the year was. And so I don't know when the next time is that I'll be able to mention this story. And it's a good story, so I wanted to mention it.
Okay.
So a lot of people buy tombstones early.
Yes. So, that was only the only part of the Y2K bug that was true.
Yeah, so you buy them from, I'm assuming they're called tombstone engineers.
Yeah.
Tombstonians. Tombstonites. And the way that they've always done it is these tombstonites, a huge percentage of their sales come from people who are just planning ahead and trying to get their situation in order. And so here, I will buy this tombstone early. We have the money, and there you go. This is the way I want it to look. This is the way I want it to be. So the tombstone engineers, the way that they always did it was, I will put your name, I will put whatever quote you want, I'll put your birthday, March 22nd, 1977, and then I'll put died blank, blank, 19 blank.
Yes.
That's the way that they always did that. So it's estimated that tens of thousands of tombstones had to be thrown away or destroyed. Because I imagine that there's like a 93-year-old man who's in a hospital somewhere and said, yes, it's 1995 and I'm going to be dying soon. Let's buy that. Let's buy a tombstone. Mm-hmm. And then like 6 years later, he's like, damn it. Well, I don't know how much tombstones cost. There's $5,000 gone to waste.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
then the thing is now you are cursing yourself for being alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn it. And there has to be at least one person who like is about to die, and then they die at like 12:02 a.m. And people are like, you know what? Close enough.
I would have to go with like, okay, look. What would it cost if you just chisel a line into the 19?
Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Just chisel a line in there, or an X.
And put an X.
Yeah.
Put a 20 under it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I would do. Thankfully, though, that's not a problem for me because I buy all of my tombstones at Rocco and Vinny's Discount Tombstone Emporium.
Rocco and Vinny's, yeah.
Yeah, Rocco and Vinny's Discount Tombstone Emporium. They are the place to go if you want quality, affordable tombstones.
Yes. It's always a little weird how they measure stone in its ability to float.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's density is really what they're concerned with most. And affordability, you know.
Yeah.
So
affordability.
Yeah,
that's just, what I look.
I wouldn't think that would be a unit of measurement you would use.
Yeah. They're right next to they're actually conveniently located right next to the Black Dress warehouse.
Yes.
So that helps. And as such,
we have to start drawing this city.
We do. And as such, I really do have my skeletal fingers on the pulse of the book world, and I am here to rub my skeletal fingers across your cheek with this week's remarkably unremarkable installment of Notes from the Bookstore.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this week's edition of Notes from the Bookstore is brought to you by the book Fire and Fury. Hey, gang, you remember that book everyone was talking about 3 weeks ago? Well, guess who finally got a small amount? Your local bookstore! So come on down. Yes, we finally got the amount we should have gotten on January 5th. So come on down to your local bookstore. It's not our fault, we swear. And speaking of our triple bypass in chief, I want to have a totally work-related discussion here about Donald Trump for a minute, if I may.
Yes.
So recently, the website Axios landed a scoop by uncovering Trump's secret schedule.
Yes.
So every day, the White House press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Cabbage Patch Sanders, goes in front of the press and shares the president's daily work schedule. But apparently there are two schedules. Apparently President Trump's actual daily schedule is much lighter than the one that they released to the public, which is so there's the one that he says he's doing, the schedule he says he's doing, and then the actual schedule, which is super short and full of lengthy breaks throughout the entire day, which he calls executive time.
Yes.
Executive time, because that sounds really important, but it's really just him alone in the White House bedroom, watching TV, making phone calls, drinking dangerous amounts of Diet Coke, and tweeting whatever triggers him on Fox News.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got one of his. I went to Axios and I got one of his schedules, one of his actual schedules here. This is a work day for our president. So on Tuesday, Trump started with his first meeting of the day with Chief of Staff John Kelly at 11 a.m. So he has an hour meeting. And then he has executive time for an hour after that, followed by an hour lunch in the private dining room. Then after lunch, it's another hour and 15 minutes of executive time, followed by a 45-minute meeting with National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster's. Then another 15 minutes of executive time before Trump takes his last meeting of the day, a 3:45 meeting with the head of presidential personnel, Johnny DeStefano, before ending his official day at 4:15. That's less than 3 of work.
Except for Wednesday, which is anything can happen day.
That's less than 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
He gets executive time every morning from 8 to 11 a.m. His first meeting is usually his daily intelligence briefing at freaking 11 in the afternoon. Then he's allowed a number of executive time breaks throughout the day. Sometimes he'll only work a 6 or 7 hour day. He's not even full time. People say I'm upset. I'm upset with our president. He's barely frickin' president. Meanwhile, here I am waking up at 5:50 a.m. every morning, getting angry, ungrateful kids ready for school, waking Bella up 9 times every morning, and then finally, when they're gone, driving nearly an hour to work, sometimes in 4-degree weather, and then working a full shift. Sometimes not even the president does that, by the way. He doesn't even work a full shift, but I do. And it's a full shift of heavy lifting and picking up stuff and lifting heavy boxes and moving things. And I'm on my feet and it's exhausting. And I finish my day, my full day. Sometimes I'll even work longer than a full day. I'll work, some weeks I'll work 41 hours, 42 hours, 42 and a half hours. That's a long day. So I finish my day and I drive the hour, drive back home, and I arrive at my house tired and exhausted and broken, buddy. I am a broken man.
Yes.
Tired. Bones hurt. But is my day over? Ooh, no. I'm a dad. And dads don't get time off for good behavior. Dads don't get executive time at home. So it's time for me to get Maxwell ready and to get Maxwell fed and in bed. It's time for me to wrestle my 12-year-old into bed, all the while she's yelling, screw you, which is super fun. Then it's time to feel old and outdated as my teens date and fool around and think about college. Emerald used to be attached to my hip, buddy. Now I don't even know her. Then there's Eleanor. Then there's Eleanor, who is a freaking terrorist. She is a terrorist, buddy. I've come up with a theory about Eleanor. Okay? She's like a year and a half. She's like about a year and a half old. But here's the thing. Yeah. We're always telling her, don't do that, don't pick that up, don't pick that up. What did I just say? Don't pick that up. Don't do that. No, leave your brother alone. Don't hit your brother with that stick. Here's the thing. Because sometimes we say, oh, she's young. She's just trying to figure things out. She's trying to figure out what's right and wrong. She's trying to figure out what to do. No, here's the thing. This is my theory. She already knows right from wrong. She's just so advanced that she is now doing psychological experiments to see what she does, what she can do to break us.
Aha.
Is that every day it's just a different experiment. Oh, Emerald's door is open. Well, it's time for experiment number 87. See how much of her expensive makeup I can ruin until she loses her shit. Oh, hey, Maxwell's laying down on the floor watching TV. It's time for experiment 93. Let's grab a stick and hit him in the head until he cries. How long is this gonna take? Daddy has his podcast notes. I know not to touch these podcast notes. It's time to touch these podcast notes. Let me get a crayon, a Sharpie, and some milk. This is going to be a fun experiment, guys. Meanwhile, our president, who holds the most important job in our nation, he gets to stroll into work at the crack of 11 in the afternoon, take 2 or 3 meetings, and then go home.
Yeah.
That's not a job. Donald Trump is not our president. He's not our president. You have to do work to be a president, and you don't do crap. So what I'm trying to say is,
yes,
and this is absolutely true. I recently asked my store manager for executive time.
Okay.
I told her that I'm a receiving manager now. I'm an executive, really. And as an executive, I need executive time breaks. If this is good enough for our president,
yes,
then I need 3 or 4 hour-long breaks throughout my workday where I can just lay down in bed, eat a cheeseburger, and tweet. So not only will I be needing executive time, but also I'm going to need a bed back here.
Uh-huh.
And cheeseburger.
Good.
So she was surprisingly into it. She actually said, like, yeah, no problem, I'll get on that. But just to be clear, that may or may not be the whiskey talking. What I'm saying is that I got the okay, I got the green light, so I'm going to be having a lot of executive time.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm going to do the exact same thing that President Trump does, except I'm only going to tweet things that trigger me from PBS Kids.
All right.
I'm going to be laying in bed, eating a cheeseburger, watching TV, and then going, it is disgusting how the TV show Super Y focuses so much on Wyatt and not on the other members of the Super Reader team. Fail. Hashtag make PBS great again. Don't even get me started on Sesame Street. You want to know how much of a professional I am, Bunny? I scheduled a meltdown.
Yes. That is good.
I penciled in a breakdown. That's how much of a professional I am.
Yes. There's no arguing with that.
Thank you. Now, I want to, before I continue with this last bit of bookseller news, I want to once again unequivocally state beyond a shadow of a doubt that this part of the show, this whole segment,
yes,
is absolutely 118% false, a fable, fictitious, completely made up, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, we have a new policy, which hath been passed down from the executives in the heavens.
Uh-huh.
Basically, we're not allowed to say no, we don't have that book.
Okay.
And I quote from nothing, because again, this is all fake. I quote from the sheet that we were all given. Quote, when a customer asks us if we have any book, our response should be, yes, we have the book, because it's simply a matter of where we get the title from.
Okay.
So we're not supposed to say, oh, we don't have that book. Technically, we do have it. It's just in a warehouse.
Well, that's kind of how Amazon works it.
It's just like we don't have it in the store, but we can order it for you. So now we're supposed to say, yes, we do have that. We can order it for you, and it will be here in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, so wait, so you have it? It's basically a semantics thing.
Yeah.
The only problem is that our usual regular customers, of course, are angry 69-year-old grandmothers from Kent, Ohio, who want to speak to the manager. There's no way that these old fogies are going to understand us. Yes, I'm looking for this book. Here it is, right here. Do you have this? Do you have this book? Sure, we have that book for you, and yeah, we have that book. It's available for instant download on bn.com. Wait, so do you have the book? We have the book, and I can ship it directly to you. If you're a member, you'll receive free express shipping. Wait, so you do have the book? Yes, the title you're requesting is available on the website. I'd happy to show you how to place an order. Look, son. Look, you're being too vague.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's no way that these people are going to understand what's going on. It's just going to piss everybody off.
Yes.
And even if someone is asking for a book and the book isn't even made, what we're supposed to say is, while we do not have that title in stock or in our warehouse, I can recommend similar titles.
Okay.
We're not even supposed to say no when someone is looking for a book that doesn't even exist anymore.
God.
Even then, we're still supposed to say yes.
Yeah.
It's a bit ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. And the thing is, I think that would just wind up pissing off more customers, because that would piss me off.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is it for Notes from the Bookstore this week. Oh wait, no, I'm not done. Hey, mister. Hey, mister.
Hey.
You looking for a good time? Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Because I really need some shelvers to put away product. All right.
Okay.
I got a full back room just full of stuff waiting to go out, and I would do anything for some good, high quality shelvers. Okay, and I mean, I would do anything. Are you interested, mister?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, now I'm done.
Sounds like fun.
Now I'm done. And remember, boys and girls and gay dinosaurs, I don't know what that means. That was written by Isabella, my daughter, age 12. You too can save 10% on all of your purchases, and all you have to do is get a lion hooked on narcotics. I also don't understand that one. That one was also written by Isabella, age 12.
Okay.
But I don't mean to disrespect my daughter, but something tells me it would be pretty easy to get a lion hooked on narcotics.
It probably would. The one that always stumped me is, if you remember, for a long time they had a problem breeding pandas.
Yeah.
So for a while in the zoo world, there was panda pornography.
Yeah.
They would show pandas videos of other pandas fucking.
Yeah.
Which led me to think, how'd they get the pandas on the video to fuck? Why don't they just do that?
Yeah, that was during that period in time where they're like, okay, we need to make some panda pornography. Oh man, if only there was somebody at this zoo that could play the guitar, and then suddenly some janitor's like, bow chicka wow wow. I knew this. This is my time to shine.
Yes.
Bow chicka wow wow. And cut on Notes from the Bookstore. That was a good Notes from the Bookstore.
That was a good Notes for the Bookstore.
Hold on, let me get a pen for this next part. Okay. Okay. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Unique New York. Hey, Bunny, guess what?
What?
No, you actually have to guess.
Oh, white go-go boots.
White go-go boots?
Yeah.
That is so... You know what's funny? Is that your answer, White Go-Go Boots, that was the original title for the miniseries Roots. So weird. Yeah, it's odd. Like, they were going for a real different vibe originally.
Yeah.
You know? And then the director of the miniseries was at, like, a hairdresser having her roots dyed.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, man, I need to dye these roots. And the director said, dye these what? And the hairdresser said, roots, roots, roots. And that's when it hit her. Hey, what if instead of our miniseries being entirely performed by elderly Jewish midgets, what if, and hear me out here, but what if we get black people?
Okay.
Oh, and then they called it Roots too. Anyway, it's homework time yet again on the old Pope on Film podcast.
Good Lord. Okay.
People of the internet, your attention, please. Cease your Tide Pod eating and kindly pay attention. People are eating Tide Pods, Bunny. People are eating Tide Pods.
That
like
is very unusual.
Yeah, fuck Tide Pods. Yeah. Each week, the dreaded Council of Amber's ex-boyfriends selects a homework assignment via the fiery ritual of carousel, which I vaguely remember being some part of the movie Logan's Run.
Yes, it was.
Okay, because I haven't seen that since I was like a teenager. I just vaguely remember the fiery ritual of carousel. So it's like a reference of something I barely even remember. Anyway, I'm glad that I got it right. And this week, we are once again making podcast history. Once again, this is going to be an historic episode of the Pope on Film.
Yeah. Yes,
because I am pretty sure that we are about to be the first ever podcast to address a major problem affecting all of America. I am, of course, talking about the plague that is demons.
Demons.
Yes. Transsexual bodies. Yes, this week we are watching a YouTube playlist of a Oklahoma YouTuber who goes by the name of Yahweh Rules 2.
Yes, and this will become important later.
Yes. And Bunny, honestly, I haven't been this excited and since we accidentally stumbled upon the Mexican-hating ghetto angel that was called Mary Jean Powers.
Yes, and didn't somebody show a picture of her?
When?
In one of these, I think they showed a picture of Mary Jane Powers.
That might be a possibility. But anyway, I remember I miss Mary Jean Powers, and I search for her on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to know her sooner.
Yeah. Because let me tell you something. Angels regularly get kicked out of Applebee's. That is something that I know for a fact, people. I miss that woman.
Yes.
Anyway, I am so excited about this video playlist, which I called Crazy Oklahoma 2018, and I called it Crazy Oklahoma 2018 because I knew that the person that Yahweh Rules 2 would be able to see what playlist I am creating. So I wanted to make sure that I called it Crazy Oklahoma and not what I wanted to call it, which was Crazy Oklahoman
Yeah.
2018. Because I didn't want to scare this guy off like a deer. You know? So when I first learned about Yahweh Rules 2, I immediately poured over all of his videos. And I was confused at first as to, here's just this vaguely dumpy looking guy talking about crazy stuff in his bedroom. And then suddenly, wait a second, now it's grainy footage of an obviously black man. Bit confused as to what happens there. But then he explains it in the video that Yahweh Rules 2 he is kind of piggybacking on a bunch of videos from another YouTuber whose name is just Yahweh Rules, and so when this guy decided to come up with his own YouTube page, he just called his page Yahweh Rules 2. So almost half of the videos that this guy has on his YouTube page are literally just him filming someone else's YouTube videos.
Okay.
Basically,
I'm not quite sure I follow.
All of those videos that feature the black guy talking about Illuminati symbols in Happy Days or Illuminati.
Oh, okay. For some reason in the playlist that came up with the white guy first. I didn't see. I didn't realize that they were part of the video. I thought it rolled over to another show.
Oh no! I put those were also videos from Yahweh Rules 2.
Had kind of a graffiti style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that is also him. So half of this guy's videos are just grainy footage of him filming another person's videos.
Oh, man.
You notice how there are triangles on the walls.
Yeah.
On that 70s show. That's Illuminati.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. You cannot put up a case for Donnie Most being a woman.
Yeah.
You cannot
do
it.
No. Donnie Most is a woman. Henry Winkler is a woman. I think we can all agree to that.
Ashton Kutcher, I'll probably give you. You know.
Ashton Kutcher, yes.
Yeah.
I can agree to that. And also whatever the blonde or redhead was from that 70s show, The Girlfriend. The really tall. She can be a man.
That's I thought the redhead was really, really hot. I don't know why they replaced her with that fucking blonde chick.
Yeah. So I poured over this guy's videos when I first heard about this guy, and then I subscribed to him, and then he followed me back. And that immediately freaked me out. So now I'm slightly concerned about this guy now being able to see my kids and have access to my family. But whatever, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yahweh Rules 2 is following me on YouTube, and there's not a lot of people out there who can say that. So
true.
I just hope that I'm not a clone or a robotoid. I'm worried. Apparently, one of the big ways to tell if you're a clone or a robotoid is you have like a bumpy forehead, and I always had a very bumpy forehead. So I might be a clone, and I just don't know it.
It's a possibility. You would need the Voight Kampf test to actually know, wouldn't you?
Probably, yeah.
You might have to get in touch with Yahweh Rules 2, or whatever. Yahweh Cheats at Monopoly, and get a little clarification on this. I mean, I think you probably have a legitimate claim.
I always had two big, these two lumps on my forehead, and I always felt that basically that I had horns that I have horns that are about to come out,
Yeah.
but they're not ready yet. So that's what these 2 bumps on my forehead are.
Uh-huh.
They're just devil horns that are just ready to come out. But now I'm worried that these aren't devil horns. This is just, I'm a clone.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't think much about that in the old days, you know?
Yeah.
As new technology comes to light, we will make bullshit out of it.
Yeah. Anyway, I first heard about this guy from an Oklahoma City gay newspaper called The Gaily.
Okay.
Gaily.com helped me a lot with this bit of homework. So on January 6th, they posted an article warning about a guy posting hundreds of flyers all over Oklahoma City. Not just flyers. He's not just stapling a piece of paper onto a light post or whatever. They were flyers that were sealed in plastic sleeves to protect from the elements.
Yes.
So this guy really went above and beyond to make sure to get his warning across.
He had to do something with them after he burned his comic book collection.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Hundreds of flyers.
All those things, yeah.
Oh. Hundreds of flyers all over Oklahoma City, and the flyers say demons in cloned transsexual bodies, and it has his YouTube page on it. And his car, too. His car is also covered with the same statement. He has like posters on each door of his car. So he's driving in the cloned transsexual bodymobile, basically.
Top that, Batman.
Yeah. The people at Gaily warned their readers, do not confront this man directly and instead report him to the police if you spot him. And then they had the Oklahoma City Police Department's phone number. Okay, sure. But then the next day, Gaily confronted the man, going against their own warning, and they got an exclusive interview with the man.
Okay.
An exclusive interview with Yahweh Rules 2. So I have the interview here in front of me. There are some really good parts here.
Yeah.
The guy whose name is Alex, he says, getting the truth out is all that matters. And the paper says, I don't understand what message you are trying to convey. Could you explain it? And Alex says, well, pretty much. The entire population are transsexual clones or robotoids.
Uh-huh.
Satan turns men into women and women into men. It's hard to know unless you are aware of it. Men and women have characteristics. Men have more of a brow bone. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
More of a brow bone, wider square jaw. Women have sloping shoulders and pointed chins and smaller ears. Women also have smaller eyes. So basically, someone who is a man has the skeletal system of a female. He still has a penis and balls. Same thing for a woman, but the opposite. That is why you see so many feminine men and masculine women.
Okay.
Also, God doesn't make junk. All ugly people are fake. Same goes for retards.
You know who has to be behind this. You know who has to be behind this. The Village People. The Village People, beyond a doubt. With the Harlem Globetrotters as their muscle. Yeah.
I thought that maybe like this guy did a bit of peyote and watched a bunch of Marilyn Manson videos.
Yeah. That's a possibility as well.
So God doesn't make junk. All ugly people are fake. Same goes for retards. Retards are a mockery of God's creation. Same with deformed people, etc. Their vessels are inhabited by demons.
Okay.
Most of the population was never real because for thousands of years, real people have been cloned and replaced by demons. People get cloned for doing bad things. The devil tempts them to do bad. Also, not having a relationship with God gets you cloned too.
Yeah.
People think you go to hell when you die, but Satan has other plans. I've gotten deeper into this, and there are no demons, only empty bodies who are controlled by the devil. We live in a matrix, and Satan is a supercomputer that can control everything, people and animals.
Okay. He's. I gotta give a nod to his originality. I'm thinking.
Yeah, you gotta give a hand to anybody who has their own mythology set up.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this must have taken a lot of work. Like, nice presentation.
Yeah.
Good. I'll give you a B. This guy's YouTube videos are ridiculously simple. Most of them are just him in his bedroom talking about how everyone is out to get him. He hates his neighbor's dogs.
Yeah.
His neighbor's dogs are in on it.
Loud cars.
Yep, cars are in on it. Sometimes he leaves his bedroom to film traffic by his apartment because the cars are obviously much louder than usual because cars are in on it. Yeah. Sometimes he leaves his bedroom to film the birds because the birds are being really loud chirping. They're obviously in on it.
Well, they're demonic.
Yeah.
Birds are demonic. Which I frankly kind of expected.
Yeah. I got to sneeze like right on deck. And it's like right there. It's in the chamber. But it's just pissing me off. Birds, cars, dogs.
Yeah.
This conspiracy, cars are in on this conspiracy that only he knows about. I only put one of these videos on the playlist. One of the things that he does a lot on his playlist is that he will shop at Walmart.
Yeah.
Or he'll eat at a nice restaurant. And he will GoPro film the entire thing and put it on his YouTube page in parts. So it'll be like shopping at Walmart part 1. And part 1 is him walking through the parking lot. And then shopping at Walmart part 2 is him finishing walking through the parking lot and walking inside. And it'll be up to like shopping at Walmart part 17.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because he's just eating food or going to the supermarket, but the whole time he's looking at all these normal people and he's convinced that he's surrounded by clone, transsexual, robotoid demons. Mm-hmm. Basically, this would
as you would.
Yeah, as you would, as any right-thinking person would. This would make for a really good indie script. Kind of like a kooky film about a crazy man and this conspiracy only he knows about. I'm seeing Sam Rockwell in this.
Sam Rockwell is a damn good choice. He's so versatile.
And even though he's a big name, he still does those like indie art films so that he could still like star in our film Yahweh Rules 2.
Yeah.
So he would slum enough to be in this cheap film where it's just him in ridiculously sparse bedroom talking about his.
I would have to suggest that we get on board with the conspiracy and make a more serious film. What happens if Yahweh Rules 2 is right?
Exactly. That's my Shyamalan at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that you want to use that as a Shyamalan? Okay.
Yeah, that was my Shyamalan near like the beginning of Act 3, where you learn that like, oh my God, he's right. There are all these demon robotoid clones all over the place, and he is actually fighting all of these beings, and they are actually against him. But then there's an even deeper Shyamalan where you realize that all of this is just him imagining it, and he's in like a mental institution somewhere. We Brazil this bitch.
Yeah.
So the whole he is right and he is fighting these demons is just his imagination. We're Braziling it.
Yeah. I see where you're going. It's interesting. It's an interesting place.
Yeah. No, I've thought probably harder than I need to about the script for this movie.
I would have to agree. I think.
But Bunny,
yes,
let's get to the real reason why I made this homework.
Okay.
When I first saw these flyers, there was a small second or two or three where I honestly, legitimately thought that somehow this was all a Bizarre Bob type bit of yours. Like when I first saw that someone was like blanketing Oklahoma City with these bizarre posters of clone transsexual bodies, and then leading them to a YouTube page, I'm like, did Bunny do this? Is this something Bunny did? Because I'm not. But then, eventually, logic stepped in, and I realized that okay, no, I'm in Oklahoma. You're in Colorado, so no, this isn't Bunny.
Yeah.
But then I went to the YouTube page and I watched the videos, and the thing that really blew me away is I marveled at how ridiculously easy it is to portray an unhinged man.
It's true.
Oh my god! Either this guy is insane or he's the greatest actor in the world. But really, let's just look at his presentation here. It's literally just a guy and a cam in like a bedroom you can barely see, and yet I am riveted with like fear.
Yeah.
Because this guy, you have no idea where he's coming from. You have no idea what he's talking about. Should I memorize? I need to know this guy's beginning, middle, and last name because he's definitely gonna like shoot up something. So I'm watching these videos and what I thought was, well, god damn it, Bunny, you could do this.
Yeah.
It's so simple. You just find an empty bedroom and get a cam and just do a ridiculous close up of your face and talk about how talk about the insectoid menace.
Yeah.
And then you like go to McDonald's and you like GoPro it, and the whole time you're in McDonald's, you're like, that old guy there, he's definitely a clone.
Yeah.
Talking quietly to yourself. Everyone's giving you these weird, bizarre looks, but you want that because that's proof that your conspiracy is right. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just pointing out how easily you could do this.
Yeah.
That's what blew me away by Alex, aka Yahweh Rules 2. Like, damn, you make being a crazy conspiracy nut look so easy.
Yes.
Yes. It's so easy. Blew me away. And also, let me tell you, whatever he's doing is working, because some of these videos, when I first set up this playlist, they were seen like 8, 12, 14, 18, 24 times.
Yeah.
Like Bob's Dirty Shorts style. And now, like a couple of days ago, I'm watching some of these videos and they're like 125, 307. This one's been seen 500 times. Like, whatever he's doing, it's working. So, like, kudos to you, Alex, because I'm blown away. I am blown away. I love this man.
YouTube is a very, very strange place.
Yeah.
And you just never know what's gonna be popular.
Yeah. And seeing his videos, like I was watching the playlist, and Natasha was in the room, and she's like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "This is that guy I was telling you about, posting the flyers all over Oklahoma City." And they're like, "Oh yeah, the clone transsexuals, gotcha." And then she didn't pay attention, and she just zoned out until suddenly, Punky Brewster was a popular kids television show in the 1980s, and it's riddled with Illuminati conspiracies. And suddenly Natasha is just riveted, like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, basically, these videos are Bunny pointing out the Mandela effect with the monkeys.
Yeah.
Like, basically, this is some guy copying Bunny. Bunny's already done this. Bunny's already halfway there.
Yeah.
He's already halfway done with his own character based on this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying, God damn, that would be simple. Literally, just a close-up of your face in some room, some badly lit room, and you're just ranting for like 10 minutes about the insectoid menace, and then boom, there you go. You got a new character. It's amazing.
Well, I kind of did that with the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect in the monkeys.
Oh, that was a popular one.
Yeah. Well, people screaming about how bad it looked and how bad it sounded, and I was like,
that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's it for what I got for homework this week. You got anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, just to tack on that, we are very close to having a commercial, a 3D animated commercial.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've got the set, I've got the character, I've got some of the animation working. Yeah.
Well, I've been working on the idea of getting tiny little bits of YouTube videos that you have posted from the Pope on Film, and literally just ripping them and putting them on my own page as an ad for the Pope on Film. I already did that. I took the in memoriam that we did, and I literally just ripped it off of your YouTube page, and I posted it as on my own YouTube page, and I'm hoping that puts a spotlight onto our thing, because literally my 2 Mystery Science Theater short videos are rocketing my frickin' YouTube account.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten hits on particular things and have seen no benefit on anything else on the channel.
Yeah, no, this is really doing wonders for me.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that maybe I can get some of these Mystery Science Theater people bumped over to the podcast by posting, just ripping a few of the videos that we do,
right,
and then adding them to my own YouTube page.
Yeah.
There. So hopefully that will help too. And then whenever you're done with this commercial, I'm definitely bumping that over to mine too.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Hold on for a second, buddy. Hold on. Yes, Maxwell? It's a special scented oil. It is 100% pure essential oil, certified natural therapeutic. It's a signature cedar cypress. It's a special scent that will help you sleep. Okay? Okay. So that smell that you're smelling coming from the thing I put on your chest, that will help you sleep, okay? But not right now, because you need to brush your teeth. Why don't you go brush your teeth? I'll be in there in a sec to help you. Okay? Okay, why don't you go brush your teeth?
30 years from now in the autobiography, that'll read as, my father would give me sedatives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there
put me out. Sometimes he would read a story.
Oh, my son always wants a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Always a bedtime story. Yeah. But see, so I try and pick the shortest story in the world because I do not have the time.
Yes.
I am a busy man.
I totally agree.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
And that is it for homework this week. And I honestly and sincerely hope that your eyes, minds, and cauterized stab wounds have all been suitably opened. But don't think you're getting out of here that easily, Buck Chacho. Don't forget next week's homework assignment. And for next week we're going old school. Because this was a difficult topic. Demons in clone transsexual bodies. I wanted something simple. So what we're doing next week, we're watching an old school educational short, a 12-minute educational short from 1959. It's called The Troublemaker. I haven't seen it before.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I tried to pick one that you probably hadn't chosen for for your Bob's fun time play thing.
No.
Who's he with it? So I was hoping that this was a bit of a deeper cut, you know?
Yeah.
It's called The Troublemaker. It looks to have all of the high class, expensive film quality of a Roger Corman film, so that's fun.
Or how to undress in front of your husband. It kind of struck me as something like that.
Yeah. So it's called The Troublemaker. We're going to be watching that and breaking it down. That is next week for homework. So join us next week for more homework with the Pope on Film podcast. And cut on that. Now.
Yes.
We still have the main course to talk about. We still have to talk about this week's film. I have a very important warning. I have 2 very personal stories about this week's film, including torturing Isabella.
Okay.
We have to talk a little bit about Golden Globus and Saturday Night Live, and I've got some really good reviews of this film.
Yeah.
And I am going to attempt to come to its defense, but no promises because this film is real shit. But before we get to any of that, and by the way, Bonnie, I'm not sure if you saw it, but I posted on one of the Pope on Film pages, the actual page, not the discussion group. I posted it on the page, I believe. A short video of Eleanor responding to Bob's Dirty Shorts.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, because every time, because she has a playlist, and I've added, I think, 3 different Bob's Dirty Shorts onto it, and every time that music starts playing, she knows, she goes, Bun! She gets all excited, she dances around, and then when it ends and there's a credit for Liz Day, she's like, bye!
Oh.
Bye, Bun! So then I tell everybody, like, yeah, according to young Eleanor, Bunny dresses like a woman, wears lipstick, and has like a spaghetti sock puppet.
Yes.
You done brushing your teeth? Oh, yeah, you are. You got toothpaste all over you. Okay. But before we get to any of that, hey, Maxwell, I'm going to ask you this time. Come here. Hey, Maxwell. Maxwell, my son. Do you think we should take a break?
Yeah.
I don't know. Convince me.
You should take a break because it's late. I need to go to bed.
That's right. It is late and you need to go to bed.
Oh,
wow.
We should go.
You know what? Sold. You convinced me, Buck Chacho. We are going to take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pop on Film after these Kamir Sayal massages. Good job, Maxwell.
Trying to let Bob out. Looking for Bob. Trying to find Bob. Trying to let Bob out of me. Trying to bring Bob into the world. Kill. For your amusement.
Satanic.
Panic.
You're late.
I'm sorry we had a small mishap.
Here are the keys.
Here are ours.
Have a nice stay in Millpond.
And you in our city.
Still telling the same story, Josh?
Powers of evil are very strong here. I must leave.
Goblins don't exist. Goblins don't exist.
And remember, they're eating her! So they're going to eat me! So dizzy.
Kids with a sweet tooth like yours love ice cream.
Delicious and purified.
I order you for the sacred power of the magic stones. I need help, Grandpa! No!
Hi.
Hey there.
Tonight's a big episode of frickin' Supernatural.
Yeah, and you're trying to get to that. How close are we?
Oh no, it's happening right now. The teens have the baby, so Natasha's good.
Okay.
Tonight is the pilot episode for an all-female spin-off of Supernatural.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a big ass deal. Natasha's just on cloud nine right now.
Yeah. I shouldn't know what you're talking about, but I do.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Yep. It's a drug that just sucks people in. It's a drug. Supernatural is the meth of television. Because even if you don't do meth, the people who do meth around you affects your life. That's basically Supernatural.
Uh-huh.
That's a really good analogy. Anyway, and we're back with more of the Popon film. Just want to let our listeners know that I am once again drinking Tecate Light, the official beer of the Popon Film podcast.
Yes.
Tecate Light. It's just like Tecate, except drinkable. Well then, Bunny.
Yes.
This week we are finally getting around to doing a legendarily bad movie.
Yes.
A legendary film in the annals, in the anuses of bad film history. But before we get there, a quick word on bad movies from a bad movie historian whose name is me.
Uh-huh.
Because it's me. Is why. So there are two types of bad movies, generally. And just for the sake of argument, we will let's classify these specific two types of bad movies. So we'll call the two types of bad movies type A.
Uh-huh.
And type skull fucking asshole shit rag.
Okay.
So
just to say, just so we have some kind of a handle.
Yeah. Just to make it easier for the listening audience.
Yeah.
There's two types of bad movies, type A and type skull fucking asshole shit rag.
Yeah.
So type A, these are the bad movies that are really fun to watch. Plan 9, The Room, Manos, with Mystery Science Theater. These are bad movies. Sure, but there's something really fun about them, you know. It's bad, and yet it's also a pleasure to watch. That is type A.
Well, it fits in a whole class of kind of things that you can enjoy. You can enjoy a bad movie, okay? And you could like hot sauce, you know?
Yeah. So
both because they're kind of bad, you know?
Yeah. So that's type A. Now let's talk about the other type, which I have dubbed type skull fucking asshole shit rag. Just to be clear, not bag. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean skull fucking asshole shit bag. Now that just sounds silly.
Yes, it does.
Skull fucking asshole shit rag, or SFAS for short. SFAS.
Suffice it to say.
Yeah. These are the movies that are just bad. There's nothing really fun about them. It is not a pleasure to watch. In fact, watching it is just a chore.
Yeah, and these tend to be your money grabs.
Yeah. So, all of the Transformers movies, Titanic, some people might say Batman and Robin. And, watching these movies is a chore or homework or a painful marathon of endurance. Guess what this week's film is? Type A.
Yeah.
Or type Suffice.
Yes.
It's Suffice, obviously. So before we end the introduction, I would like to offer up a bit of a warning. This week's movie is bad.
Yes,
but
it
not
is.
But not bad in the sense of, oh, this will be fun. Me and my buddies will get together and we'll have like a few beers and we'll make fun of it. No, this is real bad. This is really, real bad. This is deep hurting.
Yes.
This is really, really bad, guys. And as such, I just have to come out and say it. This film can only be watched by a bad movie professional.
I would think so.
This isn't something that you can just drop on someone. This is something that someone has to be trained for.
Yes.
A bad movie trained professional like Bunny and I. Oh, this will be a fun movie to watch. I'll just pop it on, smoke a bowl, rip on the movie. No, you can't do that. You know why? Because next thing you know, bam, you just Kurt Cobain'd yourself.
Yes.
That is how bad this movie is, okay? Only trained professionals can watch this week's movie, the 1980 cinematic abortion known simply as The Apple.
The Apple.
And just to be clear, all of that shit about trained professionals, that is no joke. Let me tell you about this weekend.
Okay.
Bella and I are watching The Disaster Artist. We are watching the film, and it's a lot of fun. She hadn't seen The Room before, but she knows that Mommy and I are constantly quoting The Room, constantly quoting Tommy Wiseau, and so she wants to watch the film and try and get a handle on what the deal is with The Room and why it's so popular. I also told her that James Franco and his brother from 21 Jump Street are in it, and so she liked that aspect. So we're watching the film, we're watching the movie, and afterwards Natasha's like, oh, was that good? We're like, yeah, it was really good. She said, oh, was that this week's film? And I say, no, that wasn't this week's film. This week's film is just worse than The Room.
Yeah.
Because the Room is fun to watch, and this week's film is just a painful chore.
Yes, it is.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to watch that again for like the third or fourth time. I'm going to watch that again at home. So we're at home, and I put the movie on.
Yeah.
At no point in time did I ever say, hey, Bella, you need to watch this with me. At no point in time.
Is it more like this is what you as a parent have to steer her away from?
At no point in time did I say, oh man, Bella, this week's movie is horrible. You got to watch this. You got to sit down and watch this with me. Let's watch it together. Because I know this film is a really, really real bad movie that can only be watched by a bad movie professional. And I didn't want to put that on her.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't tell her she had to. She just took it upon herself that she thought she had to.
Okay.
And she sat there and watched the film and watched the entire film. And halfway through the film, I took a picture of her face. And it's basically, I would liken it to you're watching a Spider-Man movie, and it's that part where Peter Parker is finally standing up to Flash Thompson.
Yes.
And Spider-Man says something that really pisses off Flash Thompson, and right before Flash Thompson starts swinging, he makes this pissed off face. That's the face Bella had through most of this movie.
Okay.
It got to the point where I was trying to talk her down by going, okay, Bella, there's only like 48 minutes left. That's about 2 episodes of Gravity Falls. You can do that, right? Watch 2 episodes of Gravity Falls. And she's like, thank you, Dad. Thank you. It was basically just a fucking marathon because that's how horrible this movie is.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I basically tortured my daughter. But it wasn't torture because Natasha was there. I went into the kitchen to get another drink, and Natasha said, "Why are you torturing Bella with this?" And I'm like, I never told her she had to. I never forced this on her. She's watching this on her own.
Yes.
So I just took a picture of her face, and there were a couple of times when the movie upset her so much that she grabbed one of the pillows on the couch and was just screaming into it. Because she was so upset. And sometimes the musical numbers were just so embarrassing that she would just be covering her face. Like she would have her face in her hands because she just couldn't take it. She's like, oh my God, is this a dream? Is this a nightmare? Am I in hell? She could not handle it. So I posted that Bella and I were watching The Apple and that it was really bad. And I posted that on my Facebook. If you want to see the pictures, I posted it on my Facebook. And then for comments, I posted 2 pictures of Bella losing the movie. She absolutely lost it. She lost it.
I'm going to have to call that a win.
Yeah, but she got through the entire movie, and at the end of the film, she's like, wait, what the hell is happening? I had to explain it to her. It's the rapture, Bella.
Yes.
So, and while we're on the subject of Apple stories, this movie taught me a very important lesson about myself.
Yes. What was that?
It taught me that I have limits.
Yes, as we all do.
Because I have a habit of liking things just out of spite.
Okay.
I think that's one of the reasons why I pushed Rock of Ages so hard on my family. You guys gotta sit down. This film's amazing. This film is the best. And I'm like downloading the soundtrack and I'm listening to to the soundtrack of Rock of Ages and constantly talking about Rock of Ages. We're driving somewhere and Natasha's changing the radio and Wanted Dead or Alive comes on and I'm like, oh man, this is a great song. I love Arsenal. Stacey Jacks is a god.
Yeah.
I saw him play at the Whiskey Room on Sunset.
Yeah.
It was like 87. It was before he got sober. Yeah. It was an amazing concert. You know who opened for him? Wolfgang von Colt.
Yeah. Oh, you never hear from Wolfgang von Colt anymore.
Yeah.
What happened to him? Yeah, I mean, it's bad, but you really got to call them a one-hit wonder, don't you?
I would imagine Wolfgang Colt now is a talking head, occasionally making jokes on some true TV show. World's stupidest criminals, and you just see Wolfgang von Colt there. He thought he could steal the whole ATM. Talk about a knucklehead.
And now he would be played by the kid from The Big Bang Theory that you were talking about last week, David from Roseanne.
Oh yeah, you mean it upsets me that you do not remember his name. A name that I totally remember.
Yes.
It upsets me that you've forgotten his name, especially since, the Renaissance is happening. Square dancing. I keep wanting to say Jared Padalecki, but that's just because of freaking Supernatural is on right now.
But it's something very similar to that.
Yeah. It's not Jared Padalecki, but it's... Johnny Galecki, the Galecki-sans.
Johnny Galecki, yes.
Johnny Galecki. Yeah, the Galecki-sans is coming. 100% serious about that. So here are some stats on the Apple. The Apple was a 1980s bomb that only slightly makes sense from Canon Pictures.
Yes.
A ridiculously cheesy 70s and primarily 80s movie studio that brought us such high-class award-winning motion pictures as Ninja 3: The Domination, Breakin' 2: Electric Boogaloo, and the Academy Award-winning film Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
Yes.
Canon Pictures was primarily run by two Israeli cousins named Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus, who, at least in my mind, are both the wild and crazy guys from Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
That analogy just basically explains every movie they ever did. You watch
and their costuming, I could totally see it.
Yeah. Yeah. You see these films and you're like, okay, this is a really confusing film, but it makes sense when you're going when you picture Golan Globus in Canon Pictures going, you know what this movie needs? More big American breasts.
Yes, I could totally see it. I was seeing something like, you are one foxy chick.
Yeah.
We will cast you in this big budget Hollywood movie.
Yeah. Yeah. We will be directing Missing in Action 3 with our big bulges. We are two wild and crazy movie producers. So, interestingly enough, Golan and Globus bought the failing Canon Pictures Company in 1979. Canon Pictures was in such dire financial straits that they bought Canon Pictures for only $500,000.
Oh.
So interestingly enough, the story of the making of the Apple starts actually way before Golan Globus gained control of Canon Pictures. So the story goes, in 1975, an Israeli rock star named Kobe Recht signed onto a major label, but the experience effed him so bad. And it's this major label, and the head of the major label is just such a freaking douchebag, and it's just such a horrible experience for him that this Israeli rock star, Kobe Recht, and his wife immediately started writing a musical play about his experiences.
Okay.
But his version was set in the future, and it was real Orwellian. He described it as 1984 with disco music.
All right. Which you can describe this with.
Yeah. But so
well,
by
you would have to add for dummies.
Yeah. So by 1977, they had written a musical play and had recorded a crap ton of demos. I think there were 17 demos. Originally, it was going to be a stage concert musical thingy that was in Israel. All the songs were in Israeli.
Yeah.
But they were like, "Oh, this is too much. This is too expensive. There's no way that we can do this. It's like a stage play. Like no one would afford to be able to do this big, huge play that we've written." So wondering what to do with their play, it turns out that Menachem Golan, who was a director at the time, a fairly successful director, he was in town. So they meet, they discuss. I'm assuming they had a nosh.
Yeah.
And boom, the idea came into fruition. We're going to make a movie on your musical. So in 1979, Kobe Recht and his wife and Menachem Golan moved to LA, and they start working on the play. So while they're in LA, Golan gets the script that Kobe Recht has already written, and he rewrites the script. And then he rewrites it again. And then he rewrites it again.
Yeah.
And then he rewrites it again. He ends up writing 6 different copies of this script. He completely removes the 1984 aspects, just completely fucking removes so much of what Kobe Recht has written. For all we know, Golan completely fucked with the possible good script that Kobe Recht wrote. We don't know.
Yes.
So basically, the entire movie is, in my mind at least, this entire film is what a rich and possibly coked up Israeli man thinks is cool.
Yeah.
That really does help put the film into its proper context.
Yeah.
You know? This is what, like, a overweight, middle-aged Israeli man with way too many gold chains thinks is cool.
I would have to agree with that assessment.
Yeah. The film was shot entirely in West Berlin in 1979, which really does give it like a weird, creepy aspect.
Yes.
And it was released in 1980. Originally, the script was heavy on Orwellian, futuristic, dystopian, whoosy what's it yowzers. And then Golan comes in and rewrites it into a very, very heavily religious, biblical allegory. In the original script that Golan wrote, huge portions of the script were set in heaven, where our Adam is created, and he lives in heaven with angels and apparently dinosaurs for some fucking reason. And there's 2 musical numbers in heaven, and that's how the movie starts out. Like the first 10, 15, 20 minutes is all in heaven. And there's more scenes that are filmed that are in heaven. And then eventually God sends our Adam to earth to meet his Eve. But Golan ended up cutting a shit ton of the biblical allegory crap because he wanted the film to be, quote, more acceptable.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that this is the more acceptable version of the apple?
The more acceptable cut, yes.
So the film
makes you really curious, doesn't it?
Yeah. Really makes you think, like, what was in this before that this was the stuff that you left in?
Yes.
The film was a huge bomb, and I've got some reviews.
Okay.
The Mountain Express newspaper called it, quote, truly the strangest sight your eyes have ever beheld.
Yeah.
The Movie Report, this one's my favorite. The Movie Report said, quote, if you believe in God, be prepared to question his existence. Because basically no loving deity would allow this film to happen.
Yeah.
Slant magazine called it noxious. Every song in this goddamn movie sucks. Oh, so I forgot my point earlier. So apparently I have a limit. There are some things that I like out of spite. So Bella hated this movie so much that I started spiting her by singing the opening number over and over again to her.
Oh. Just like
Bella.
with Freaks.
Yeah. Hey Bella. B! I am! There ain't no good! There ain't no bad! So I downloaded the opening song and I put it on my phone and I heard it maybe like 2 or 3 times until I'm like, I tap out. I can't do this. Like, even I have limits. Like, I never thought I'd say this, especially since I'm currently rocking out to A Freak Like Me Needs Company from the musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. But apparently even I can't rock out to music from The Apple.
Yes.
Apparently I have a limit. So this film taught me a good thing about my limitations. And also just the fact that I like things just to piss people off. That says something, but I'm not sure what. Flavor Wire said that this film was, quote, the product of a singular, insane vision, unperturbed by any notion of good taste, good sense, or good storytelling.
Yes.
And
I would have to agree with that as well.
Yeah. Here are 2 of my favorite quotes. Isabella Galindo was quoted as saying, I hate it so much. This movie is my own personal hell. If hell is torture, then my own personal hell would be having to watch this film over and over again.
Yeah.
Unquote. And my favorite quote, Bunny Williams with the Pope on Film podcast said, huh.
You want that now?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to pull from a previous podcast. I was excited to hear what I was going to say.
No, we don't have a historian, so
it's just so fucked up. It's just it's a bunch of tripe thrown into a hat and pulled out randomly and stuck together. In that regard, it's very Rock of Ages, but I think even in Rock of Ages they cared.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, none of this works on any level, but then it does. If you want to watch a bad movie.
Yeah. I upset my wife. We had a little bit of a talk like halfway through this film because I said, I know I'm going to piss off somebody in this house by saying this, but I'm just going to come out and say it. This film is way too gay.
Okay.
And then Natasha said, that doesn't exist. Such a thing does not exist. And I'm like, yeah, well, you've never tried to see The Apple. The Apple makes the Village People's Can't Stop the Music look like Val Kilmer in Heat.
Yes.
Makes it look like Liam Neeson in Taken.
Yes.
Makes the Village People look like the movie Dunkirk. Angry, badass guys going into war. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing, okay, Bunny?
Yes.
Okay, Bunny? Hear me out. Hear me out. Yes, this movie sucks.
Yes, it does.
Okay, Menachem Golan was quoted after the movie bombed. He was quoted as saying, quote, "It's impossible that I'm so wrong about this film. I cannot be that wrong about this movie. They just don't understand what I was trying to do. So I started thinking about that, and that's when it hit me. Yes, the movie sucks. Yes, this is a horrible, just horror. The thing goes. So the movie is horrible, but like there's a little like thing in my gut that tells me that the problem with this film is just that it came out in the 80s.
Yes.
If this film came out in 1976, 77, 78, it could have had a chance.
Yeah. Around Godspell or something like that.
Yeah. But this movie came out when people were starting to play Pac-Man and play with Rubik's Cubes. This movie should have come out when David Bowie is putting on makeup and pretending to be a spider from Mars and getting a blowjob from Mick Jagger. The apple should have come out when, when the Rocky Horror... Metcalf Gun... There was a Metcalf Gun Show commercial? Nice! That is an old take. Metcalf Gun Show. The Metcalf Gun Show.
I remember it, actually.
Apparently the Metcalf Gun Show is back. So this film just came out at the wrong time. This film needed to come out when disco was still a thing. If this film came out 76, 77, 78, it could have had a chance. People would have saw this film and go, oh yeah, no, this is kind of fun. I like it. But it came out in 1980. This film can exist within the 80s.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
I completely agree. And that's it. That's the problem with this movie, is that it's out of... everything about it is out of place. So yes, they would look good if like Xanadu was still a thing and Olivia Newton-John was still a thing. But they're not.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
Oh, I'm glad that you liked it. And I was trying to do
Plot twist wasn't clear. It was clear.
Just to be clear, I was doing the force on you, and I wasn't mimicking grabbing your beautiful
you
butt.
wanted to grab my ass.
Yeah.
Don't lie. You ain't got a lie to kick it.
I'm confused as to what that means, but I'm gonna just take it at face value. This film just came out at the wrong time.
Yes.
That's the problem. You can't
That's a big problem with it, yes. And for a religious analogy that you have taken out, you really quite haven't.
Yeah. You can't release a campy 70s disco musical at the end of the year 1980.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, you're already done. You're already done. Big shock.
So yes, in a way, it wants to be a midnight movie like Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
I find it a sadistic kind of fun.
Yeah.
Golan and Globus, or whatever their names are, they're a tough read. Is there a heart there, or is there not? Or are they trying to really do something, or is it really all just a money grab?
Yeah.
It's so hard to say with them.
Yeah. It's difficult to tell.
Yeah.
But I will say that I watched this film this week and I hated it. Last week and I hated it.
And then I watched it with Bella, and I had fun watching it with Bella because she hated it.
Okay.
And then I watched it again by myself, and I hated it. So it's one of those things where it's like I hate it so much, but I will love forcing it on someone else.
Well, it's like a paper cut. You know? It hurts, but you kind of have to keep fucking with it.
Yeah.
You know? There's just something about it. You can't just let it sit there and heal. It's sort of a pain that we're kind of like.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got for this movie. It's a piece of shit, but it at least it's an original and unique piece of shit.
I'm gonna put this in a party movie, a movie party category. You know, this would be a fun movie. You invite a bunch of people over for a party, and you just put this shit on the background.
Yeah. Maybe. But there has to be a trained professional with you.
Yes.
Because I really
can't know that it's still not for novices, and people can't do this on their own. No way.
Yeah. I really needed to talk Bella down. If you watch this movie.
That's
like sad. For real. Yeah.
I would think that if anybody can handle it, Bella can handle it.
Yeah, and she did watch it from beginning to end. It just almost broke her.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah,
give her my condolences, and you know, once you fall off the horse, though, you got to get like right back on it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So that's all I've got for this week. Next week, we have to watch The Disaster Artist.
Okay.
Because I have got a lot to say. Not only that, but I scored an interview with an old friend of mine. We used to work together at the bookstore in California.
Yeah.
And then he left the store in California and moved to Oakland for a while. And when he lived in Oakland, he was working at that theater when they first started showing The Room.
Uh-huh.
And they said, oh, yeah, this is just some bad movie, and we're going to be playing it once a month at midnight, and the director's going to be here. This is supposed to be a wonderful bad film. Let's put the reels on. And so, yeah, no, he would watch it once a month, and he was there watching the crowds get bigger, and he would meet Tommy Wiseau and talk to him and stuff. And so I was on Facebook talking about The Disaster Artist, and he ended up giving me some really good quotes for the show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Some really good stuff for the show. So that's next week, The Disaster Artist. And for homework, 1959, a 12-minute educational short, really short guy called The Troublemaker. Also next week, I'm trying to go old school. So next week, I have Steve's Historical Approximations. We're going to be talking about the Bible.
Okay.
And I've got a game for next week.
Oh, we haven't played a game in a long time.
I know, it's been a while, and I got a really good one for next week.
Yeah.
That I'm really proud of. I tried it on Amber, and Amber's like, I have no idea what's going on, but I think I'm doing good. So she did really good despite not knowing anything about the subject. So that's going to be fun. I think this is a good game for you. I tried to tailor this to you.
Okay, cool.
So I think you'll like it. So that's next week. Now, though, looking back at this episode, now that we are here at the end, at the pinnacle, at the peak of podcasting perfection, really.
Yeah.
Perfect. I got to say, I think when all is said and done, I think this has been a pretty damn good episode.
This has been a damn good episode. Yes, it has.
Yeah. On fire.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve saying thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens.
And you douche waffles and poopy tits.
Okay, come back here. Come back here. Come back here. Come back here. I was telling Bunny earlier about how you watched the film The Apple from beginning to end and how it almost broke you.
I run so fast. Yep.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about The Apple. I know you loved it. What were your favorite parts? Tell me.
Favorite part?
Yeah, because you were like crying the whole time. I'm assuming because you just loved it so much. So what were your favorite parts? Mr. Boogaloo? Or was his name Mr. Bugaloo? Or was his name Mr. Boogaloo? Or was his name Mr. Bugalow? He had 20 names.
My favorite, I have multiple favorite parts. My favorite scenes are when the eyeshadow guy came on. Anytime the eyeshadow guy came on.
The black guy?
Yes.
The eyeshadow guy.
Yeah, I loved that black guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved it.
Hi.
Guy is amazing.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Load up with the magical, weird-looking Jesus into the sky.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody else on the earth can live a normal life.
Yeah. I know you love the film. It's okay. Okay. You don't have to pretend that you hated it. I know you loved it. It's like a wise man once said, there ain't no good. There ain't no bad. Bim is on the way.
That sucks because I know a freaking.
You know someone named Bim?
Somebody named Bim.
Really?
Bim Trevor.
His name is Bim? He was probably named after the apple. You know what you should do? Every time you see this Bim guy, just throw apples at him. Just throw apples at him, and he'll be like, yeah, thank you. It's an FYI. He's definitely named after the apple. She said, I hate you and stormed off. That's what the apple does to people.
Yes, it does. But if I had children, I think I would name one Bim.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Do 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 do. Cut and print.
Okay, who here can really reveal themselves to the class? Anybody?
I'll go. Don't talk about me, not to class, not to anybody.
Yeah, no, of course.
Sharp on time, try not to fall asleep, everybody.
Am I hearing an accent?
No, what do you mean?
How old are you?
No, we're on Greg age.
You're 19? Yeah. I just turned 14.
Wow, happy birthday. This is my movie, and this is my life. You're not Greg. You and me, we are all the same.
Oh yeah, how's that?
We both have this dream that we'll be famous.
Yeah, I guess we do.
You have a malevolent presence. You are a perfect villain. I could see you as Dracula, Frankenstein.
I'm not Frankenstein. I'm hero.
I give them job, I give them salary. I'll just spend $5 million on this movie, Greg.
Are you kidding me? $5 million?
And they are not grateful. Nobody respects my vision.
Where were you born, Tommy?
Greg, that's not part of the scene.
You want an easier question? Where does the money come from, huh?
Stop, this is on camera.
I know it's on camera, just like you want it.
I do this whole movie for you, Greg.
Can we just take it again? Try to lose the accent.
The rules to the club are simple. and they guarded me for it was dark.